Ladies and gentlemen, g'day, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video here in WOT Blitz, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for dropping by. Consider subscribing if you like what you see. And in today's video, as the title suggests, we are going to be talking about the WOT Blitz matchmaking. Just how bad is the matchmaking? Just how good is the matchmaking? Can it be improved? Does it need to be improved? We're going to be addressing that straight off the bat. So stick around. It's going to be a nice little video. Right, so as you guys know, recently, in the last few months, Wargaming has been making announcements on their Discord server regarding matchmaking and how they're going to be improving the matchmaking and how they've implemented new sort of systems and strategies in order to improve the matchmaking for the player base. And I'm going to read your statement, basically what they were saying, give you a little rundown on what they were saying a few months ago about this and what the player base have been thinking about, or what the feedback has been from the player base, including myself, regarding the matchmaking that we currently have in the game right now. So, what Wargaming was saying was, essentially, they wanted to let us know that they've seen our frustrations with the new matchmaker. They understand that they, they currently need to collect statistics. So essentially what they're doing is, please understand that we are currently collecting statistics to assess the impact of the new matchmaker. This was about 7 months ago, something like that, when this was released. So yes, in some aspects it has improved since then, but it's interesting to see what they were saying beforehand, because there hasn't really been much talk about the matchmaker. Essentially what they were saying was, only after this thorough analysis, by the way, I want to make an emphasis on the thorough analysis here, can we consider whether adjustments are necessary. And I can guarantee you that adjustments, technically speaking, have been made to the matchmaker. I'm yet to see it in its full sort of maturity, but we're going to go back, we're going to talk about the feedback from the players in a bit. Wargaming also stated that the aim of the new matchmaker is not to punish unicums and skilled players, but to create fairer and more equal matches for all players. We are closely monitoring the situation daily, collecting statistics and your feedback. We value and thank you for your insights. I think Bushka said it best. Someone mentioned on stream, on a couple streams ago on Bushka's stream, someone asked about the matchmaker and why they don't implement a skill-based matchmaker. And the reason for a skill-based, I guess you could say the reason for a skill-based matchmaker would be, put the noobs and the newer players together in one match, put the unicums and the skill players in one match, and Bob's your uncle. It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. Your queue times will be astronomical, right? You will have to wait in queue for ages. It's going to take forever. For all you know, all the unicums and skill players are not playing at that specific time. And how do you determine who's a unicum, who's not a unicum, who's a skill player, who's not a skill player? You have to go through daily stats. You go through all-time stats. It's just a real pain in the ass. And it's too much. It's going to be too much to ask. And the matchmaker will just be 50-50. At that point, you're literally going to have 50% win rate, 50% win rate. You either win or you lose. That's it. There's no you win, lose, lose, win. No, you're either going to win 50% of the time or you're going to lose 50% of the time. That's how it is. And Bushka said it best in the stream. I'm going to include it into this. I'm going to include this specific. I've already included that specific clip at the beginning of this video, and you probably would have seen it. But essentially, that's what it is. The matchmaker is good as it is right now. If we were to implement skilled, it doesn't need to be skilled. I'm honestly genuinely confused why people still complain about the matchmaker. Yes, it's not perfect. Under any circumstances, is it not perfect? And I want to reiterate the last point that Wargaming was saying. We are closely monitoring the situation daily, collecting statistics and your feedback. We value and thank you for your insights. So for the last 7 months, we've been giving feedback about the matchmaker to Wargaming, and they've been collecting the data, and they can honestly say that majority of the player base are fine with the matchmaker. It's only some of the player base that have an issue with it, right? We have a few responses, and I'll give you some of them here. It's just a standard Wargaming reply. It's also pretty true for once. They'll end up tweaking it after a month or two, maybe longer. Then everyone will still complain and we'll just end up here again. I mean, to some extent, this person is correct, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. I think just people need to just calm down a bit. And then we have another Redditor here who says, true, but at least we have a benchmark to reference future shitty updates. 3.8, 5.8, 10.7, and every single one of those coming up. Suspect they're already working on SBMM 1.1 or Skill-Based Matchmaking 101. Oh, God. Some of these Redditors, man, too funny. And then we got people who are like asking, what happened in update 3.8? And then there was a whole different explanation. It'd be like, well, that was when they introduced spare parts. If you didn't watch my video yesterday about it. Essentially what it is was basically you had to wait a while before you received the equipment. This is usually a feature in other games where you unlock upgrades. It was horrible for first-timers though. You had to wait for each upgrade to be selected before you could select the next, like today, but with a time penalty until the slots are unlocked. It's ridiculous. Anyway. And then there's a few others that were saying, the 3 equipment slots are replaced by the current 9 equipment slots, blah, 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 blah. Let's talk about some of the other responses to this and some of the feedback that Wargaming have gotten from the player base. People have been saying, it seems like a reasonable response about the matchmaking. People are saying, insights, are they actually engaging with their top players, or they're just shoving them into an unannounced new matchmaker paradigm, should I say, and waiting to see how many stop playing regular battles or stop playing altogether. Other people were saying, well, that's a valid point. Assume they are just reading the daily feedback on their server from the egos. Everyone is top player over there. If you don't know what they're referring to here, we're talking about the Discord server. The WOT Blitz Discord server there. And I have to agree, there are some people there who tend to have a bit of an ego. So, yeah. And then we have other people who are saying, say what you want about him, but Droodles is truly one of the best players in the NA server. He makes some great points in his matchmaking videos. It's definitely not fixed. And then there are some people who are commenting, Droodles is middle of the pack for top players. Still can't do 4K. That's when you're great. Look, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying I have anything negative against Droodles. I don't. Me and him are on good terms. We chat every now and then. I don't want any beef with him or anything like that, But certain things that he says, or a lot of things that he says in his videos that I disagree with, especially when it comes to certain tanks. When it comes to the matchmaker as well, I don't really consider him as being one of the best players on NA server. There are many players who are better than him, way better than him, and I'm pretty sure that he knows that. And again, no comment on anything else. But as some people saying, Droodles is middle of the pack for top players, which is, it's still a compliment. Middle of the pack for top players, that's pretty damn good, right? But yeah, what else is there? What other feedback? We got other feedback, stuff like, don't they know all the keyboard warriors here could fix it faster and better than they could? The sarcasm. The sarcasm. Yeah, just all the keyboard warriors saying all this bullshit. Be like, yeah, we can fix it. We can fix the matchmaking. We're skill-based players. Yeah, we can fix it. Yeah, mate. No. It doesn't work like that. Oh, God. And then we got other people who were saying, Wargaming kowtowing to the lowest common denominator players, 40%ers, by the way, because they represent the majority of the game. And the majority of the game represents the game finally circling the drain for real. Don't know what this guy's on about, but in reality, those players don't care how to learn to play the game correctly and are more likely to be AFKs or YOLOs, and if Wargaming wants to hand the game over to them, then that may finally be the blessing in disguise that I need to quit this addiction and leave this game behind once and for all. Oh, bro. Mate, you're the real MVP for commenting that, I'll tell you that. I mean, if it's as much of an addiction as you say, why are you still playing the game for then? Clearly you enjoy it. And then we had people replying to that, be like, or just grow up and stop playing without all the main character syndrome hyperbole you got ongoing there. Oh, God, I love subreddit. I love this subreddit. It's so much fun. And then we get people like, in real life, Soy Jack. And then other people like, does anyone else feel like a little lag in response in PC, or is it just my ping? Like, bro, We're talking about matchmaking here. We're not talking about ping and lag issues. And then, of course, the Asia server is talked about. Well, it seems that in the Asia server, there's always packet loss at night. I play through Steam, and this is a real problem. I mean, I have to agree with you, Ashcad. It really is a real problem. People on my stream tell me all the time, you're like the king of lag streaming. And I am. I think I'm not going to say I'm the king, but I'm pretty damn good when it comes to ping. Bloody oath. I get shots off left, right, and center. I would never think of in any way, shape, or form getting off. Playing in it just normally with good ping. But, oh man, this subreddit. And then we're going to finish off with a couple more that talk about the matchmaker. And I want you to let me know your feedback about the current matchmaker. Why do they need to collect data to change something they arbitrarily changed with no data and was working fine? They listened to shitters complaining about the most fair possible scenario, a random dice roll, and are acting like they now need proof the old system worked. Is over 10 years of a successful game not evidence enough? Oh my god. My response to that would be, it's always helpful to get data from the player base. The player base is always changing. You can't just base information from 10 freaking years ago. It doesn't work like that. For God's sake, I'm not saying what he's saying is entirely wrong. There are certain points that commenter made. Yes, fair enough. They don't need entirely new feedback. But remember, a lot of us veteran players have been playing the game for so long, and a lot of the newer players have been playing for a year, 2 years, 3 years. They have other insights that we might not have. They have other feedback that we might not have because we've been playing the game for so damn long. So just say, why would they need to do a dice roll and then Bob's your uncle, call it a day? It doesn't work like that. They constantly need feedback. So, I don't know. It's just too funny for me. And then we have people who say, I'm personally not playing until it's changed. I tested it one day and my win rate went from 30 days, 63% to 45% in a single day. My win rate went down. I don't think they'll make any changes unless the stats show people playing less. And this is from a user called Go-Karting on Drugs. God damn it. Anyway. And then we have people like, kudos to Wargaming? You do realize that they are the only ones doing this because they're getting massive backlash. Just like when they wanted to implement ATGMs, right? Oh, and then people will be like, you went around for 3.8, I guess. Took them over a year to revert that, and they kept their cards close to their chest. Don't get me wrong, the play more so we can see the data narrative is self-serving at best. People walking away from the game sends a more effective message. I mean... Sorry, I had to walk away from my microphone for a second there. I don't agree with any of that. I'm sorry, guys, but if you're gonna be talking mad shit, like, Wargaming is doing their level best to try and make the game better for you. And try to make the game better for everyone. And then we have stooges like this who just want to be like, just have Sark be like, oh, the only reason why they're doing it is because they're getting backlash from everyone else. It's like, and? So what? Who cares? I don't know. You know what? At this point, I really don't know. I mean, the matchmaking for me personally has been pretty good. So I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with it. Like, entirely. It's not perfect. And Wargaming have said it's not perfect. But I've said it again, right? I mean, we get people like this, right? Who's like, when some of your best players to have played the game are struggling to get to 50%, you've fucked up the matchmaker. Yeah, but where's the evidence to prove that? You can't just say it. You can't just make a bold statement like that and not have evidence to prove it, right? And then we get people who are like, what was really crap before was the disparity of the platoons. When you had a platoon of 60% win rate versus a platoon of 49% win rate. And sometimes even two very good platoons versus a good and mediocre platoon. That was bad. Again, it's completely random. If it's only skill-based, it won't work as a matchmaker. That's what people need to understand. And unfortunately, there are so many people out there in Blitz that do not grasp that concept. And as I said, Bushka said it best. A skill-based matchmaker will not be for the better of the Blitz community. It will make it so much worse to play. The only people to benefit would probably be the lower win rate players, because they can probably just get better from each other and they'll just get up to 50% win rate. And that's it. And then we get others who are like 60, 70%, and they're playing with each other constantly. They're going to eventually be 50-50. Because they're going to win 50% of the matches, or they're going to lose 50% of the matches. Anyway. It is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. For me personally, I think Wargaming has done a great job with the matchmaking as it is right now. I don't really have much of an issue with it, so to say. Yeah, it's not perfect. It can always be improved, but that's what they're doing. That's what they've said they're going to be doing. They're going to be improving the matchmaker. So I don't really see the problem with what some people are saying, but anyway, it is what it is. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a bit different. Talking about the matchmaker, just having a bit of a discussion, a bit of a banter. But overall, I think Wargaming has done a good job over the years with the matchmaker, and I think if they continue to do what they do, listening to feedback, it should be alright. Anyway, onwards and upwards, take care of yourselves, take care of your family and friends, and stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.
Thank you all for watching, and a massive, massive thank you for all subscribing, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.